Hey, givers gotta set limits, cause the
Yeah,
takers
do
never
some great
do.
things this year, baby. The break been too long, you feel me? I'm back, baby, you feel me? I'm back, the dub is back, baby.
Then they gonna say
It's only
yourself.
right, you feel me? Then we have a, you know, a little drinky drink. You know? Let this year, man, trouble be a bubble in our champagne glass, baby.
I just kept it to myself,
You
speak
know?
of 'em, I never did.
Sit back
And even
and
when they
relax
hurt me, I
and
act
enjoy
like I
this
never cared. I let
documentary
you put
style
on a
interview that
show
we
and
putting
your
together to let
episodes
y'all
never
know
end.
why it
When
took
it's
so
my
long to
turn,
return
mercy was
on the
never
comedy
shared.
scene,
I
but
owe you for
all that
that
matter,
shit,
baby,
like a tap
is I'm back, baby.
Welcome back, baby.
Man, I love y'all, man. We out here,
What
man.
you doing this year?
Standing on business, man, all year, man. Put business on the floor and I'm standing on it, baby. I'm standing on
I
it.
guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let it go.
Y'all have been asking and inboxing, when you gonna put some more content out here? Why you ain't been posting? And versus telling y'all all one by one, I just thought, why not one video and really talk to my people who've been supporting me for day one. This ain't for y'all who just, it's for my day one people, man. You know what I'm saying? So sit back.
T-minus 30 seconds.
All right, there you go. Go live with somebody. I'll go with this nigga right here, because I fuck with this nigga right here. I fuck with cuz.
You got to walk
No,
There's other
20
ones on there.
seconds.
Prince T-Dub.
This brother is Prince T-Dub.
Prince T-Dub. You understand me?
And when this young brother came back the next day,
9,
he was suited
8,
and motherfucking
7,
booted. And that's
6,
why we call this nigga
5,
Prince
4,
T-Dub. Let him
3,
have it, y'all.
2,
Give it to him.
1,
Yeah.
0.
I want to thank y'all for joining me in this ride along here as we tour some very important places that was key to this comedy journey of mine. It all started for me on the Chicago South Side. Let's get this out the way. A lot of people may think that I'm from the west side of Chicago. Not to get it confused, shout out to out west, but this is where I'm from.
I'm from the city where shorties be wildin'. They run up and down posted on Stony Island. I gotta get my whole fam to an island. Some lobster and pasta, we eat like Italians. I caught the itis, let me get my nap. Jump out in my sleep and I start to think back. One thing about me, I always speak facts. This is Chi-Town, some say this is Chirac. My 30 feel to the
Yeah, this is always the police station. You know, we don't mess with the police, you know what I'm saying? Because I was out here in these streets, you feel me? So we stayed away from here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm about to take y'all to my old grammar school, high school, and old neighborhood, you know, childhood home. Hit the police siren, get us through this shit. Damn sure not to here right here. We're on Michigan Street, man. A lot of stuff happened on Michigan Street. We cruised through Chicago South Side. This is my auntie Sam, my cousin Toon, man. Shout out to them, man. You know, I spent a lot of time down that house growing up, man. Right here with the corner store, Jimmy's, man, for real, man. One of the best corner stores. When chips was $4 for $1, man, I used to come here before school. I would spend like $5 to get about 20 bags and set them out to all the chicks that was nice to me for the day. This Anderson Park right here, you know what I'm saying? This right here for the members right here. Shout out to everybody who used to come up to Anno, play ball, shoot dice, everything. You know what I'm saying? For real. So this Mayo Elementary School, where I did 4th through 8th grade here. The school went bad for me, man. It was actually, for the most part, the principal, Mr. McNeil, shout out to Mr. McNeil. Anybody who went here, y'all remember Mr. McNeil. He was strict. He used to make us do drills in the hallway, man. You know what I'm saying? So we used to have to go to the hallway after lunch and say our times tables real fast, you know what I'm saying? And we used to have to go from 0 all the way up to maybe 100 something, go back down. But it helped though. I know how to count money now. There's a lot of fights, a lot of childhood fights, man. A lot of different stuff, man. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, for real. They doing great things for the youth over here, man. So we want to come back and do some stuff over here for Mayo, man. But right behind Mayo is what they call Phillips. I went to Phillips. I thought I was gonna get accepted to like one of them good high schools or whatever, But they just sent me right back over here to Philly. You know, they got new signs up there and everything. They look completely different, man. I did a year here before I went to a military school called Lincoln Challenge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff happened over there. You see bullet holes all in the windows over there. Them been there since I was a kid. For the most part, everybody was, you know, was tight with each other, you know, through the neighborhood around here, you know. People had their differences with people, but there wasn't a lot of shooting and a lot of violence. Where the backyard entrance is at, man, you know, after the police chase you know, hit one of those cuts, you know, you get out on the other side, you know. Police ain't really like when you ran back there, they'll turn around, you know, because they knew your ass was long gone. This right here, 37th Street, man. You know, I used to pull up in all the fly whips out here, man. Whenever I get a whip, they dress it up, man, put wheels on it, custom paint job. I pull up through here, man, show moms, man, you know, show the neighborhood, you know. At that time, like, you know, the young niggas trophy, you feel me? You know, these fly whips and, you know, pretty girls and stuff, man, you know. All the unks in the neighborhood used to go ahead on, nephew! Why did you do them things on that? You do them things on that bitch, nephew! Man, a lot of nights out here, man. A lot of good nights, man. What up, though? What up, gang? I went to this school too, man. On the playground is where I spend most of my days. You know, he's over here, you know, chilling out. You know, I'm walking all over here to the crib though, man. Man, got my man's Ray out here, man. Salute to my man Ray, you know what I'm saying? When you see me, you see Ray. When you see Ray, you usually see me, for real. Unless he at one of them old ass clubs.
Hey, don't mind me.
Shout out to my man Ace Boogie. My man Ace Boogie out here. This the one I was telling you about. We was at the corner, Auntie Sand. You know what I'm saying? Crib down there.
Got locked up, right?
You feel me? We got locked up. He sent the police down here at me, man. You know what I'm saying? I got away. You know, I look out the window, man. He coming down here with the police, man. Watch this guy, man. He's a snitch, man. Man, white boy, man. One of the hardest hustlers out here, man.
What up,
you know what I'm saying? Snatching the cars out here on the tow truck company, man. Salute to my man, man. Brother Joe, all the way from Madison, Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? If you out there in Madison, you already know who Joe is. In motion. It's in motion. You know what I'm saying? Rolling out there. My OG stayed right here. And my grandma stayed 5 houses down. So when I used to sneak girls through, when they used to walk past, you know, my grandma used to always sit there and look out the window, call my mama on. But this is the crib right here, you know what I'm saying? So, anybody know me from down here, y'all know I used to be right here. I started filming the Reawakening TV show. Shout out the Reawakening TV show. And All About Chris TV show. We filmed a lot of that from down here. And I remember that the TV show was only on channel 25. You had to have certain cables. We didn't have a cable. So we had to walk down to my grandma's house at 11:30 at night and check out the show, you see? So me and my mom would get up, take this walk. Like I said, I ain't really had too many problems around here, you see, because I ain't starting no problems, you understand? But I just wanted to let y'all know who Prince T-Dub is and where I came from. So appreciate y'all for making it this far. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and tune in as we take the next step.
I was showing love to niggas when they wasn't nobody. I was looking out for bitches when they ain't had nobody. They switched up.
I always wanted my style of comedy to be different from other comedians' style of comedy. I started writing stage plays and TV shows. Pretty much it was about my life.
Oh, hell! OG Granny right here. Real OG Granny. You might get OG Granny from right here, my grandma right here. She say no paparazzi. No paparazzi. Get your ass on in the house now.
Got a Mississippi name. Willie Perry.
94, 95.
I saw it in 95. May 25th. I remember well about 30-something Street. Wish I was back there. Just a lot of fun.
Remember when he used to have that van, then he pulled up in that van with his picture on it? All of us run outside to the door.
Watch your damn mouth. Don't you see two elders right here? Your elders right here. Watch your damn mouth.
Look, dog. I ain't gonna say nothing to you that don't say nothing to you. No. I
just told him my name was
doing
OG.
nothing, man.
Look, boy, stop playing with me. Stop playing before I slap my dick, dog.
You used to be little and ugly. Now you don't grow out your man now. I'm ugly man,
yo. Everybody put your hands together for my pastor, your pastor, our pastor, Pastor Michael Reese Hospital. You know, they ask me what I do and who I do it for. Yeah. And how I come up with these Jesus kids up in the studio. All I want for my birthday is a big old black man. All I want for my birthday is a big old black man.
I was bad at fucking school, now I'm trying to dodge it. 1250. You wanna boss up your life? All you gotta do is get in. I don't even pay to get in the club. They know I'm a walking tick. I'm presidential leaving the club. We ain't stopping at no lights. You wanna be a boss? You gotta.
I just started going viral to maybe like 2018. And, you know, it stemmed from some of the videos that I shot right there on 37th Street where y'all see that I grew up at. I just got the camera phone out, man, and just recorded a video. And those videos, the For the P challenge, so many videos, man, I'll post them in here. But those all started from just, man, the camera phone. From there, we put together a comedy tour, man. I teamed up with my man, Mojo Brookzz. We was going on the road, man, a lot of support, but the pandemic happened.
Fast-breaking developments in the coronavirus emergency in the sixth state to close all non-essential businesses. More than 80 million Americans now told to stay at home.
A lot of the comedy venues was not trying to give us dates, or it wasn't full capacity.
So we added cities as we go, you know, whatever the COVID guidelines, you know, permit us to do. But I just knew that the comedy was the route to go because I enjoyed making people laugh.
With the overhead that we had going out on the tour with the staff and, you know, the vehicles and everything, not seeing a proper return, probably could have got stressful. But overall, you know, meeting all those new people and going to those different places was definitely a good experience.
They need to come back to them.
I know he be putting his hands on you. He over there pressing on you.
Date night, y'all need to go check them out.
We can do that later, right? What me and him doing, we could have did this shit, he could have went and did this thing, I could have went and did that, but we decided we were going to do it together. And I know we feel the same way, we stronger together than we are.
You know, the devil got to creep in somehow, man, and that's when I experienced one morning in 2021, November, that I just woke up a little off. Things didn't feel right. We went to the hospital and everything. You know, they just couldn't see nothing.
They sent me home, and the next week, Thanksgiving morning, I woke up and them telling me that I had 3 seizures.
To be in a situation where you feel like, whoa, like I have to make like serious changes to my life if I want to extend my life.
It's like you make up your mind and make your changes on your own, or the game will force you to make changes.
In that moment, it was like, you know, the normal, okay, dub to me. It wasn't until I got around you, when I got dropped off out there, is when I noticed what was really going on. You definitely was in a different mindset.
People think of seizures like, oh, you know, it's 1 to 2 minutes of a seizure, 2 to 3 times a month. It's like, what, 6, 7, 8 minutes out of your life? But the people spend 99% of their time trying to avoid those 6, 7, 8 minutes. And that really impacts their quality of life.
I just want to walk y'all through, you know, let y'all talk to a professional neurologist who specializes in the brain. Dr. Kim Hatchett, I want to thank you first for taking the time to come on here and talk about this with us. So you're a neurologist, speaker, author, wife, mother.
Right.
So I already shared with my followers prior to us joining that I do have epilepsy. I was diagnosed in 2021, and I didn't even know I had it. I didn't even know, too much of what it was. Could you just say, from your point of view, what is epilepsy? Is it like a condition, a disease, a disorder? Like what is epilepsy?
So it's a disorder. So it's important to distinguish the difference between epilepsy and seizures.
Okay.
About 1 in 10 people in this country will experience at least one seizure in their life. That seizure could be provoked or unprovoked, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then, but once you have epilepsy, that means you have more than one seizure happening, and it could, now your epilepsy could be a provoked epilepsy, meaning like a structural problem with your brain, or could be some type of genetic or metabolic problem. But you're having more than one seizure, and you're having to be controlled with either medications or surgery for that seizure. So having more than one seizure, mainly unprovoked seizures, makes you have epilepsy, which is a disorder. There's two different groups of people that can develop epilepsy, or I should say have a higher risk of developing epilepsy. So kids up to the age of 10 can develop epilepsy for most likely some type of genetic or structural abnormality that they were born with, something that happened when they were in utero or in the womb, or something genetic, something with their DNA that's increasing their risk of getting epilepsy. So up to the age of 10, kids are at increased risk of epilepsy. And then after the age of 55, people who are older are at risk because of things like strokes, Alzheimer's disease, and things like brain tumors or brain injuries.
Gotcha.
But also you can have an increased risk of epilepsy from structural issues like hitting your head and getting a traumatic brain injury. And then some people just have an idiopathic, meaning we don't know the cause, but they just suddenly develop epilepsy.
Is there anything like maybe drinking or vaping or marijuana that could cause you to have a seizure, or could that maybe add to you having epilepsy, or
that could cause you to have like a seizure?
Okay.
So alcohol doesn't necessarily increase your risk of having seizures, but chronic drinking and then stopping drinking can cause you to have what's called an alcohol withdrawal seizure. So we see that in the hospital a lot. But then things like vaping, cocaine, those types of drugs increase your risk of having seizures. Not necessarily developing epilepsy, but absolutely having seizures. Yes.
What's happening to the body like while it's going through a seizure? Because I heard it's like a bunch of neurons in the brain, or like electricity, like what's actually going on?
What's amazing is that our brain is run on like current, kind of like a computer's run on current. And so we and I do tests where I look at the velocity of how fast we conduct electricity in certain nerves in our body. But what's happening when you're having a seizure is that there's a sudden uncontrolled amount of current that's happening in a certain part of your brain. And some people, that part of their brain, it just stays right there, and they have what's called a focal seizure.
Okay.
Some people, that current will generalize and spread throughout their brain and take over both hemispheres, causing them to lose consciousness and have a generalized seizure. So it's basically an uncontrolled amount of current that starts in your brain, a focus in your brain, and then it either stays there or spreads throughout your brain and causes you to have either a focal seizure or a generalized seizure. But it's really a loss of consciousness. Like you don't remember what happened. Focal seizures, you remember. People can have a focal seizure and be very conscious when it's happening. But generalized seizures could either be the ones that people think about, like grand mal, or could be a staring spell where someone is staring off and they're not responding to you. Those people, you don't have any memory of those types of seizures.
Okay, and while we're speaking on memory, because I did notice that after having so many seizures, that it did have an impact on my memory and like clouded up my thoughts and different things. Is that like normal to happen after you have seizures, and would that go away? Could I, get memory back? Like, how does that work?
So it can happen where you have problems with remembering things, remembering because your brain has had basically a surge of energy and it's having to normalize. So if you have that happen over and over and over again, it's kind of like your brain needs to rest. It's when you think about it, think about running a marathon. So if you ran a marathon and then ran a couple of days later another marathon, and then a couple of days later ran another marathon, your body's not going to work like it's supposed to because it's tired. You built up lactic acid, you have muscle soreness and fatigue. Same way with your brain. If you're having all of these surges of energy happening over and over and over again, it's going to affect your memory. So the best thing to do is get the seizures under control, and then hopefully your memory will come back. And most likely it will happen. Your memory will come back once you've gotten the seizures under control.
Before I actually knew that I had epilepsy or that I had a seizure, there was a thing that I now know to be an aura. Something that happens before you have a seizure, where you can throw up, you can taste or smell things that may not be there. Could you talk about that a little?
Yeah. So an aura is, like you said, is something that happens sensory wise. It's usually something in your sensors. So you might smell something, you might taste something. Some people see things. Some people will have this feeling of unpleasantness in their stomach and start to vomit. And sometimes that could just be the seizure or the start of the seizure, or it's a warning sign to the person that I'm getting ready to have a seizure. So your brain is starting to misfire. So it's like a misfiring of one of your sensor, one of your either cranial nerves or your senses up here, or a misfiring of this the reflex to vomit. So there's all these different centers in your brain, like your vomiting center. There's a center there that controls whether you're vomiting or not, and your brain is sending a signal, or it's misfiring a signal to that part of your brain, causing you to vomit, and it's giving you a warning sign.
Got you. Is there any difference, like doing your body when it's sleeping, like for you to catch one? Are you more prone while you're sleeping, or how does that?
So there are certain seizures that you can see them happening only in sleep, which is interesting. Because your brain goes into different waves when you're asleep. When you're fully awake, you have what's called an alpha rhythm. That means that you're fully awake, your eyes are open, and your brain is functioning at this alpha wave. When you go to sleep, your brain starts to slow down and go into what's theta, which is like 4 to 6, and then delta, which is under 3 hertz per minute. So again, electricity. You're producing different waves of electricity when you're asleep. Gotcha. And when we're looking at patients who have seizures, mainly in their sleep, or we see those abnormalities in sleep, we can sometimes see them even more focally when they're asleep. So when we do an EEG, we encourage the patient to be sleep deprived, so that you can fall asleep, so we can see what your brain does when it's asleep. And sometimes you don't see anything when someone's awake. Their brain looks absolutely normal when they're awake. And as soon as they fall asleep, we start to see these abnormalities. And it just brings out more, for whatever reason, it can bring out more abnormalities when you're asleep. And that's with certain people and certain types of epilepsy. When you're having seizures upon waking, one thing that a lot of patients will see is that they've either bitten their tongue, they'll have muscle weakness. They'll feel like they've worked out, and they're like, I haven't worked out. Like, I don't understand why my muscles are so sore. They'll wake up sore. They'll wake up sometimes with like a bitten tongue, or they'll sometimes wake up confused. They'll feel like they've moved in their sleep and they have no recollection of any of that. Even sometimes they'll say that they've had the strangest dream and they felt like they were awake during the dream. They'll have these like weird, vivid dreams that they'll remember. And most people don't remember their dreams. So that's another sign that something's happened at night.
Gotcha. Okay. And like, how can somebody like support a relative or a friend that may, have epilepsy or experiencing a seizure? Like, what are some of the things that you should do or you shouldn't do?
That's a great question. Okay, so things that you should do for your loved ones if they have epilepsy. You should understand what type of medication they're on and encourage them to take their medication. If they have a seizure in your presence, some of the things you should not do is put something in their mouth. You shouldn't try to hold them down. Some things you should do is if like they have a tie on or something around their neck, try to loosen that. Try to get sharp objects out of the way. And you should time the seizure. If the seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes, or if they have back-to-back seizures, that's when you need to call 911.
Okay, gotcha.
If they also have a rescue medication, some people have seizures bad enough that they have a rescue medication. Know how to administer that rescue medication for the person too.
once you diagnosed with epilepsy, could you get undiagnosed? Could it go away after, like, if you go so long without having a seizure? Could a person, you know, a neurologist, a professional, say that, hey, you no longer have it, or is it once you diagnose, you have to take the medicine forever?
So it just depends. Some people, when they are diagnosed with epilepsy, depending upon the cause, they either grow out of their seizures. So, like some kids their seizures will be under complete control and they have gone a year or two without seizures. We might try to wean them off the medication and see if they do okay. So it just depends on the cause and depends on, basically the cause and their frequency of seizures when they were actually actively having seizures. And one thing I want to let your audience know is that for African Americans, we're at a higher risk of being diagnosed with epilepsy, but we are at a much better rate of control of our epilepsy if we take our medications. That is something that the studies have shown time and time again, is that African Americans, if we take our medication, we are have controlled epilepsy at a much higher rate than Caucasians.
I want to ask this last question because I know you're very busy, and I definitely appreciate you once again for coming on here and sharing this with my followers. Before you got into neurology, or while you were into it, like, do you know anyone personally, maybe like a friend or relative that maybe experienced epilepsy or seizures, someone close to you that you had to do the research for, or maybe help?
Well, I will say this: my grandmother did have strokes before she passed away, and the number of strokes that she had did cause her to have a seizure. And so, seeing that and understanding that we as a community sometimes stigmatize folks who have things like seizures has pushed me to go into neurology. I thought about surgery at one point, and more I looked into it, I realized that our people needed someone that could be an advocate for them and speak plainly about things like epilepsy so that we can understand exactly what we're going through and how we can help ourselves.
Books or anything that you may have that we can support?
Sure. I'm pretty active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Dr. Kim Neurodoc, Dr. DRKIM Neuro NEURO Doc DOC. So Dr. Kim Neurodoc. And I have a website, drkimberlyjhatchett.com. So you can follow me on both of those and give tricks and tips on how to make your brain work better. Because again, the brain controls everything.
That's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kim Hatchett, thank you so much, and I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you coming with your story and raising awareness for this important disease.
Absolutely. Thank you. I want to thank y'all for watching. I want to thank Dr. Kim Hatchett because, like I said, I didn't know all the information on it until I started doing research after I was diagnosed with it. So just giving y'all a little information, letting y'all know why I stopped doing videos, so y'all be ready for all this new content that I'm about to create. Epilepsy awareness mission that I started, and we're about to get back posting. So until next time, I'm out. Chicagoland area, get ready and mark your calendar right now. Saturday, April 13th is going down. One of the biggest casting calls of the year. Get ready to come out and rap, sing, an actor, an actress. Get ready to showcase your talent. Get movies, TV shows. You think you got what it takes. Visit www.princetdub.com or Eventbrite and register now.